Sensitivity is intelligence. With grace and skill, you have abundance. Welcome to the Psychic Hour. Host Kelly Brickel is a psychic medium healer, numerologist, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether it's through spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, there's always a pathway of information waiting to help. Now, here is your host of the Psychic Hour, Kelly Brickel.
Welcome. Hello. Welcome to the Psychic Hour. We were working out some technical difficulties for a moment, like my sound being on. How fun is that? And welcome to a very special Friday show. We have Torunn Anthonsen on today, and we'll be talking to her with her healing journey. And yeah, thank you for waiting just a moment and being patient. We were getting everything together. We appreciate everybody if you are here, and we will be taking questions later in the broadcast too as well. So if you have any questions, if you have any things about healing on your mind or psychic mediumship or energy, it's the perfect time to ask during the interview series. So welcome. Normally we have a topic beforehand, but since we had a little bit of the technical difficulties before, we're going to bring Torunn right in and wish her a hello. So hello. Can you hear me? Hi, Torunn. Oh, where did she go? Okay. Okay. We're gonna figure this out. You know what? It's sometimes a Freaky Friday is among us, right? All of a sudden we're here and we're there. Okay. Let me see. It's okay. So let's see. I'm just gonna check in because I just saw her. 1 second. We'll talk for a moment. We'll see if we can get her back in. All good. I guess we will do a topic of the day, right? There's surprises all around. Let's see. Interesting. Okay. All right. We'll just keep it open. I think the topic of the day, I think, it's always fun to talk about energy and how it works with the different clairs. Everyone is different with how they pick up energy. Everyone has different gifts, and I talk about that a lot. I'm a big proponent in that. And the different gifts come with the different clairs. And some people are born with it and some people develop it. And I do think no matter that you are born with it or that you develop it, there has to be, this attention, this interest. There's a lot of factors where, you could have the gift, but maybe you're not interested in the gift, or you don't exactly are in the right time and space for the gift, right? And so it's a matter of interest and awareness, and also just acknowledging that some of the gifts are real. So I think we have Torunn back in. Let me get her back in. Let's see if we can get her back in right now. We'll bring Torunn right in. There we go. Hello.
No, I can hear you too, so that's good.
Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, good. Okay, all right, we did it, right? We found a way, but we did it.
Good to see you.
Welcome. It's great to have you. I'd like to introduce you to everybody. Torunn Anthonsen is a healer and a medium from Norway. She is certified by the Norwegian Healing Society and the Lisa Williams International School of Spiritual Development. Torunn herself also established the Healing School, where she teaches others about their own healing gifts and has been featured in university, hospital, and scientific studies regarding her abilities. Welcome, Torunn.
Thank you so much. I'm so been looking forward to be here today.
Me too. I've been looking forward to having you. So if there's a will, there's a way, right? There's a will, there's a way. Well, I was talking for just a moment before you came in about, awareness having to be where we go, because as long as we have awareness, we'll find that moment. We'll get that moment. We'll unfold that moment, or we'll unfold our gifts, right? So if there's a will, there's a way. If I may ask you from the very beginning, when you were younger, did you know you had these gifts?
No, I was not aware of that at all. But I grew up in a family, and my mom, she used to put her hands on me if I have had pain or were ill, and her hands become very warm, and I felt better really fast after. But it was normal. She never called it healing, or we never talked about spirituality. And she was self-taught, and it's from my mom's side, and they have done this for generations, but they didn't really speak about that. So I didn't think about that at all. It was normal back home. So I was in my 20s when I started to understand everything, because when I was a child, I saw dead people before I went to sleep in my bedroom, and I thought it was just my fantasy because I had a lot of fantasy too. And I had all these emotionals from everyone else. I could feel other people's feelings, and I was very confused. I didn't know what was my energy and others' energy. So it was a bit difficult because I didn't know about these gifts at all. So I think I was in my 20s when I started to understand that I have some gifts I could use to help people.
And if I may ask, because you say that it comes from your mother's side, did they have a technique, or did that come from, God, the divine? What did they visualize when they were doing healing work, or what was taught to them
Uh,
in your family?
I know I never met her, but my great grandmother, she predicted people's future in coffee cups. I don't know why you call it coffee growth. And
Yeah,
she,
wow.
yes, and she lived in the forest, and we call it Finnskogen. And many gifted people has come from that place. And at that time, it was normal. She was a wise woman, and she helped people. I don't think they paid her for that. And my grandmother, she saw signs in her dreams. She saw white horses before accidents happened. So she was a bit afraid of the signs. So I don't think she did anything. She didn't use it very much. But I remember her hands were really warm and calming. And my mom, she was always very curious about spirituality, but she didn't speak with us about that. And after she died last year, I did see all her books, and she has been studying since I was around 10 or 12 years, everything
Wow.
about psychic and healing. And yes, so I think when she was young, it was not something you talked about. But when I started to develop my gifts, in the beginning, she was a bit afraid that people would, what they would think about my work. But after a few years, she was very proud of me, and she supported me a lot. And she helped me with healing. When I did have infection in an arm, no one in my city could help me. But when mom came to visit me, she could hold her hands on my shoulder, and after 5 minutes, it was gone. And so I think if she had the chance to develop the way I have, she would be even more amazing with her gifts. And she was very intuitive. I could never lie to her. I did lie quite a lot. But she just saw it in my eyes. And I have been the same with my girls. It's been hard for them to lie to me because I just know.
You just know. We'll be like, is there something you're not telling me? That's not going to fly. I don't think so. You just know.
Yeah, so my oldest daughter, she told her little sister, never lie to mom. It's not smart.
I love that. I love that. That's worthy of stories too. I just want to say really quick, hello to Jessica, hello to Chris, and if you have any questions, we're taking them a little bit later, so you pop them down if you like. Wow. So what gave you the feeling or the direction to say, I'm going to step out and I'm going to make this my career. I'm going to put my entire focus of my, development, not only with just my interests, but also my career. What made you do that?
It was quite a long process for me because I was so drawn to that. It was like my soul drove me into every course I needed, Arthur Findlay College, Lisa Williams, everything. A lot of good teachers in Norway too. But I didn't have the self-confidence to believe in myself at that time. So I started to work as a bank advisor. And I did quite well because I could feel so easily what to say to people. So that was a quite easy job for me to do. I think many people with these gifts can be really good in other business too, not only psychic. But my soul really wanted me to help people. And even if I was scared, I just quit my job and started a healing center. I took some education because I wasn't sure I could live off my gift. So I took some reflexology, acupuncture, massage, but the healing took over very fast. And that's 20 years ago. So it was really easy. Many people have struggled more than me. And even if I didn't believe in myself, I'm sure the healing intelligence pushed me and helped me. So it was, I have cooperated with doctors all the way. I've been in a big company giving the people who work there healing for 20 years. In the beginning, I was there 3 times every week. I've been in scientific studies with a hospital and researchers. So I think when you do what your soul wants you to do, it's quite easy. You just need to be a little brave and just do it.
Just do it. Get out there and do it. Yeah, it can be scary. How has your business evolved in the way that you work with people or help with people? I'm curious, of course, just the business side of things, but I'm also curious about when you first started as an energy healer. What techniques did you use that you find have completely evolved?
First, I took a Reiki course, Reiki healing, and I liked that. But when I started to heal my clients, I just felt drawn to where I should hold, or I saw pictures in my head. Sometimes I could see things inside the client's body, so I knew what's going on. And when I started to trust that, I only worked intuitive, because in this healing intelligence, or what some people call the energy that is from God, some people call it source. For me, it's just a pure energy of love that fits everyone, and you don't need to be in any belief systems to receive healing. And when I understood that in this light, I saw light beings, healing guides that worked with me. And when I started to go into meditation, try to connect more with them, understand how we can cooperate, things really started to happen, like also surgical healing. So it's just to trust spirit, really. So I don't use any standard technique. I connect with energy, and then I follow what they guide me to do. Sometimes they want me to speak when I give healing, because it's also healing when you're speaking, a kind of channeling. Sometimes they want me to go deep into trance. So I just follow what they show me, really.
Do you mentioned meditating and learning more about your guides. Do you work with the same guides for healing, or do you find that different ones come in at times
Uh,
too?
yes, in the beginning it was the same, and when I have worked with them for a while, it's like they sent me new ones so I could develop more. So it's like being in school. After a few years, you get a new teacher who can help you even more. So some people say it's not important to know your healing guides. And I think you don't need to see them or hear them. Not everyone do that, but just follow the feeling if you don't see or hear them. And it's still new guides coming in. I just got a new one a few weeks ago.
Ooh.
So when I was younger, I was more interested in readings and mediumship because I needed proof all the time. And for
Yeah.
me, healing was a bit more boring in the beginning, but they continued to draw me back into that work. And it's really not boring. It's happening new things all the time. And I also usually, if it's something happening like psychic surgery healing, or sometimes we just film the session and the camera can pick up energy and sounds that we don't hear in the room. So I think it's good for people who do healing that they experiment a little so the guides can help them with information and
Well,
also give some proofs.
yeah, I like how you put that. Yeah, I think a lot of people aren't sometimes as interested in healing because there aren't as many moments to be evidential. And I like how you invite people to always know that there's different, experiences where you can prove things. So you mentioned recording to hear the different sounds. What has come up in your experience when you've recorded a session?
That's quite a lot. In the beginning, I usually like to have music in the background, but I think it was in 2008, the music didn't work. And I think it was a reason why, because we shouldn't have that music in the background. And sometimes when a lot of things happened in the healing, I filmed with one hand and gave healing with the other one. And it was amazing because afterwards we could hear classical music, and we could also hear instruments that they have used in the healing to correct things in a finger or a shoulder. And I think it was 1 week after I heard the classical music, I saw one of my guide more clearly than I never seen him that clearly later. He showed himself really clearly once, and it was a Japanese surgeon. And a few days after that, I heard on the radio they talked about Japanese surgeons in back in days. They used classical music, and it helped the doctors and also the patient
Wow.
during the operations. So
That's
and
validation.
yes, Yeah, we have seen a lot of energy going down my arms when sometimes my secretary is filming the healing sessions. Not all my clients like to be filmed. Sometimes we just film so they can have it themselves and we don't show everyone else. But some of my clients really want to give the word proof for the healing. So sometimes you can see like a dizzy white light going down and out of my hands. Sometimes you can see like a spiral going in front of my face. Some of my clients, it's like they are in another stage during the healing. So they sometimes see the guides, my healing guides from up under the roof when they look down and I can see the guides working through me. So we have seen a lot, and they are so gently when they do healing and correcting things. They use like colorful, I don't have all the words, trades. Do you know trades? Small. So they open up and correcting things with just energy. Do you understand the word traits?
Traits. Is it like, so traits? I think of like characteristics, aspects, but what's talk about traits more.
Maybe I should Google it.
I love it.
I need to find out that word.
Yeah, I'm really curious because you're talking about color. I love talking about color and energy, and so I'm curious.
Oh, we have a Google said. Treads.
Tregs.
Treads.
Tregs.
Treads.
How do you spell it? I'm curious.
I can't spell it in English. I will try another one. Skeins. Yarn skeins.
Scans.
You know,
like scanning the body, color scans.
No. I'm sorry, Kelly. I don't have the word.
It's okay.
It's like
Describe it. You're doing great.
I can draw it.
Okay, I like it. I like the different showcasings.
It's
I
like
love it.
they work with
Lines,
yes,
ley lines,
energy
fields.
lines.
Yes.
It's like the energy is coming out like this in different lines, colorful lines, and they open up where it's needed and very gently fix the problem. And
Absolutely.
sometimes the hospital have taken pictures of the clients afterwards, and they can see a difference on the pictures. So we have also the hospital have in people's journal wrote that it's only been done healing and the pictures show a big difference.
Wow.
So yes, easier to explain in Norwegian, but
No, I like it. You're saying that lines of energy are coming out of your hands and then they help correct the energy that are happening in the body. And I have that experience too. So I can understand what you're saying from my experience, but to share it with the audience too. I find that when I'm tuning into energy and understanding, let's say, how my body works or another person's body works, there's certain geometrical patterns present, and those lines help correct or elongate or work with the lines of geometry in our body.
yes, and some of the clients see it during the healing, and it's the same color as the picture behind you on the wall.
Which color or all colors?
All the colors.
Okay. That's
And
beautiful.
sometimes it's more of one color, and very often it's blue, light and dark blue. And for me, deep blue is the color for healing. And they also have sent us the pictures on the phone that just put it on the phone itself during the healing sessions. And in the beginning, we thought it was something wrong with the phone. And it's happened to at least 11 different phones during the healing sessions. And it's a beautiful picture. I think it's on my website if someone wants to see. also at my YouTube, Torunn Anthonsen Healing on YouTube. You can see psychic surgery healing and some of what's going on. And so they give us a lot of proof. And I think it's because I need that. If I didn't get any proof, I could never done this. I'm a skeptical person. So they really choose a hard one to work with.
I understand. I appreciate, I can be skeptical as well. So my mind needs certain check boxes. So you're in good hands with that. I understand. I work like that too. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Like just as the testament, I saw that picture, one of the pictures that you're talking about, like, where it happened one of 11 times. And it was, like the sky blue mixed with like this darker blue and white. And I was like, oh, that's really, really cool. And you said that was connected to a psychic surgery. Can you talk more about that? I definitely haven't, I guess, I've met people who have gone through psychic surgery, whether it's like John of God or other experiences they've had in the past, but I've never talked to someone who actually does it within their work. Can you please, share more about that?
I think, like John of God, he used knives. I never use any knives. And in the beginning, the first time it happened with one client, I got very scared because I was talking to the client, I was healing the client, and suddenly it was like the client got, I think you call it anesthesia. So she just disappeared. And I got a bit desperate because she was not coming back. And then her arm started to go up, and it starts like an operation in her. She had a crushed hand. She had a lot of operation earlier in that hand. And it starts with mechanic movements that is not possible for us to do. And after maybe 40 minutes, the hand was put down. And then she come back into her body, and I was really happy she come back because I didn't know anything about this, and this was in 2008. It started, and she said, "I'm never going to try healing again. It's not for me." And I said the same. I don't think this is for you. 1 week later, I went luckily to Arthur Findlay College in UK. And I told this to one of my teachers. They really supported me a lot, and they said, they do this because if they didn't do this with your client, the client would have felt too much pain because they go quite deep in. So I think they use instrument because we can hear that on the film, but I don't see it. I just see the energy, and I can see something going in, and color changed, and sometimes it's something blue, lines, white knuckles, but they said they have to take the client out because it would be too painful, and the worst thing you can do is to talk loud to her. And that was exactly what I did the first time. I said, "Come back," and I pushed her, and I did everything wrong. And when you do that, they can come back too fast. It's like a shock for the body. So after that, and she wanted to try more because it really helped her hand. I think we have done it many, many times. And after that, also, some of the clients with different issues, illnesses, is happening the same. But I think it's only around 15% of my clients that is happening psychic surgery with. And it's not up to me. My healing guides do this when it's possible. So
may I ask how, let's say, a standard session is different from a psychic surgery session?
For me, I really start the same way. I always ground myself, and I close my eyes and send the intention up to my guides that we're going to do healing. I feel you always need to have your heart with you when you do that kind of work. and I invite them in a circle, and always fill myself with light first, because if not, you can get tired of this work. Your body can be tired. And then we just start to send healing, and we can see early in the session if it's going to be a psychic surgery healing, because the client feel a bit dizzy. Some of them feel a pressure in the chest. Someone feel a pressure in the front. And some of them are scared, and then we just stop. And after a few sessions, they say, I'm ready. And then they really go out. And when they are out of the body during the healing, they often see the guides working together with me. And they see the light is coming down my crown chakra and out of my hands. And some of them meet someone they love on the other side. And they see animals they have had earlier that's on the other side. So, and they feel so much love, and they are in a white light. But they explain it. It's like everyone have a little different experience, but it's always really beautiful. So,
Wow. Okay.
so I can never
and
promise psychic surgery healing. It's not up to me.
oh, it's
I
not. Got it. Got it.
I
I didn't
can
hear that for a second. I hear you now, though. Yes.
I can never promise a client psychic surgery healing, but if it has happened once, it's always happened the next time and the next time they come back.
So it's there has to be, the body has to just naturally go deep. Just go deep and be ready to be in that space.
Yes.
That makes sense. That makes sense. How long are your sessions usually? Like 30 minutes, an hour, longer? When people go that deep, when people are doing the psychic surgery part.
In the beginning, with the first client, sometimes it was 5 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes, sometimes 1 hour.
Yeah.
And it was really hard because I had many clients the same day, sometimes
yeah.
10 clients.
Wow.
So
10 clients. Wow.
I used to have that. I have a little less now because I'm a bit older now, so I can't have 10 anymore. But then I had to tell my healing guys that I have 45 minutes for this client. She needs to be back, or he needs to be back. And when it's 5 minutes left, I just command them to bring the person back. If they're not finished, we need to set up another session, because I couldn't let the next client wait for half an hour. And then it's a cooperation between us. They need me, and I need them to help people. And we have the same interest. We want to help people and animals, of course. So I need to tell them how I need to work too. It's not only up to them, because they don't have time.
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
So and in the beginning I was like they were up here and I was down there. I didn't feel as worthy as them, but then I understand we are a team. They need me, I need them. I talk to them, but it's not like talking with you. I can't get as much information as I can with a living person. But they try in every way they can to show me what they need me to do so they can help the clients.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Have you found that you've had a chance to work with animals too? You mentioned,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love animals. And I think many sensitive people really feel a lot of healing from animals. So when I grew up and had all this emotion and I felt other people's emotions, it was really hard sometimes to be around people. And I felt a bit lonely. Even I had a great family and friends. But for me, it was like healing, being together with animals, because they are pure love. and they are stable all the time, you know. So it
Yeah.
was more. So I worked. The first animals I gave healing to was horses. I love horses, and I've been riding since I was a little child. So it was old horses that had infections, and it didn't grow like it should be. Maybe they have been like that for weeks. And then I just put my hands on the legs, and they are so pure in their energy system. So sometimes only 5 minutes was enough. And
Wow.
you can really feel it when you give healing to animals, because they really relax when you do that. It's like hypnosis. I got a little, yeah. So, and I did that on my puppies when they were very active and I needed a break. I gave them healing and they were just sleeping for 3 hours. And yeah, I really wanted, for me, it was easier with animals than with people when I was younger. And now I have techniques to so I can feel a different with my energy and others' energy, and so it's easier now to work with people too. But I really wanted to only work with animals. But one of my mentors told me that I should work with people, and it was important. And she also told me that it would be some scientific studies on my work. And she said, you can do horses once a week, but please work with people. And I understand that it's important, the work I've done, but I still heal a little animals on my spare time in my weekends. Yes, it's hard to say no
That's
when an animal have pain or something. I also sometimes when someone had to put, for example, a dog to sleep, uh, they asked me to be there. I can also be in a distance and give healing during the process. And the last dog I gave healing to, I felt I was sitting back home and the dog was in another city, and I could feel the energy going in a circle for half an hour, and I was thinking that took very long. And then the energy stopped. It was like it was cut, and I understood the dog was into the light. And then the owner called me afterwards, and she said the vet was half an hour delayed. Uh,
ah,
but I think it's nice to sit maybe half an hour before, so the animal can be as calm and feel as much love as possible.
absolutely. If I may ask, since you're talking about color earlier, and you said that like horses, when you're talking about horses and animals, that they're so pure, do they have different colors that come with their healing? Is it
Yes.
still the blue? Or what colors do you see?
Uh, I often see blue and white light, bright white light. Sometimes I also feel other colors, and I feel maybe the colors I see is the color the chakra needs. Maybe if I see green, it's the heart chakra that needs healing. And it's the same with children. They're very pure in the energy system, and they feel a lot. And the kids, they often see colors when I give them healing. If I ask them if they can close their eyes, they often see colors moving and different colors coming in when I move my hands. And they feel the meridians, they feel the energy going up the meridians in the body. So it's really fun to work with the children too.
Absolutely, yeah. Wow.
But most of
Um,
the time I work with grown-up people. I
no,
love my work, but it took me a time to be comfortable having so many different people in my office.
yeah, there's I think like animals and children and just the work and having a different perspective is really, valuable. Just understand what you're really working with and what's really possible, because different energies come out in different situations.
Yes, that's correct.
That's beautiful. Oh gosh, I had a question and just kind of flew out. That's okay. That's okay. I guess. Oh yes, I'm remembering now. If you may too, you mentioned earlier, and what I know about you too, that you've been involved in like studies, and one of your mentors was saying you have to work with people. You're going to be involved with scientific studies. You can help people. You can help change this work. So when did that start for you? And then also, what studies have you been a part of? I'm really interested to know.
The first healing study was published in 2018. It was published in a magazine called Explore. It was published international. We worked together with a hospital and doctors and researchers. We were 2 healers in that study, and we had 100 clients with the different illnesses, and many of them have had these chronic illnesses for more than 5 years. And the results was really amazing. After 4 sessions, they were 50% better. So the study is on my website if someone wants to read that. It's really, it was so good results. And that was good for me because I'm so skeptical. And then I could see the results. Yes. And the hospital is the one in my city, Sørlandet sykehus. And the researchers are in the university in Trondheim. So it felt like it was, I didn't look for that. It was just a lady I worked with that asked me if I was interested in joining the study, and then the doctor contacted me and asked me if I wanted to join, and then the researchers visited me, and I also gave them healing before we started, and they had so many questions. So after the session, I felt really stupid, and I really had to think a lot about what am I doing? Maybe I'm false. Do I? Because I could pick everything from each other because it's energy and I couldn't show it. But what I didn't know, the researchers really liked the sessions.
Yeah. What, if I may ask, what questions were they asking you where you felt at first you were like, I don't know if this is the right place?
So many years ago, because I met them first time in 2014. So I don't remember, but they had all these intelligence questions and I couldn't
Very
answer.
technical, very technical.
Yeah,
Okay.
technical. Yeah, and then they called us and said we will go for it. We go for it, and that was yes in 2018, and it was on TV and everywhere because of the results. I'm not allowed to go in details for the study we are working with. The only thing I'm allowed to say is that exciting things is going on at the moment.
Okay, all right.
And
So there's
the researchers will be the first to publish when it's ready.
Okay, so there's something happening right now. Okay, all right.
Yes, but because we had these good results in the first study. In the first study, the doctors, everyone did this for free. And now they did get quite a lot of money for the next study because of the results. So that's amazing. It was the first time in Norway they had done something like this. So in the next study, it's many more doctors. It's one healer, that's me, and the hospital and researchers.
Wow. Wow. So I know some of the information's on your website, but can you talk a little bit about what happened in the first study?
I have some notes.
Yeah, hey.
Because I think this is a bit easier to say in Norwegian, but as I said, it was 100 clients. I think it was 8 drop out because of illnesses and hospital. Some people died, not because of the healing. Yes, as I said, it was an average of 50% improvement after 4 healing sessions on the whole group.
What was there? Was it 100 or 92 different people that had various conditions, or did they have a similar condition?
They have different things like depression, pain, a lot of different illnesses. And the next study, they have picked one group, only one group for the next one.
Only one group. Okay.
And
Yeah.
one of the group that were really even more improvement, it was people with pains for many, many years. And that was amazing.
Yes.
So they didn't need to take painkillers and yes. But it's in English on my website, so they can read more about the details there.
There's a lot of details, yeah, but it's fascinating and interesting, and I'm happy to know that you're in a there's more studies to come. It sounds like, and different phases.
And I didn't, because they are studying healing. So when I am joining this healing study, we do it the same way each time. We start with the head, working down the body, under the feet, and up again. And sometimes we hold if people have pain in the shoulder, we hold a little longer there. But because they don't do research on me, but on healing, they need all healers to do the same. So we need to have one way to do it in a study. So when I'm not in the study, I work more intuitive where I'm working, but it works anyway. And I know my guides are so happy because of this study. So they do everything they can to give us good results, so people can. I think we need medicine, but we also need healing. And sometimes you need an operation. Sometimes the healing can fix something the doctor can't fix. So I think we should have one feet in each world and cooperate and build a bridge between us. And that's really what these doctors are doing. So I'm so grateful for them. And they're quite brave, because not all doctors would put themselves in a situation like that.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that they're pushing the envelope. I'm glad that they're expanding and progressing what the healing world can be for everybody, not just for healers and intuitives. It can be anyone can understand this.
It's for everyone. It fits everyone. But sometimes we need another help too. But everything we can fix with just helping our energy system and our soul. It's amazing what can happen. And this is my healing room, and it's been happening so much exciting things in this room. So it's not boring to be a healer.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not. What are some of your favorite ways to work right now?
It's really changing all the time. At the moment, I like to also use crystals as a supplement. Like This is a selenite stone. Do you see it? Wow. That's
little in comparison. I got bigger ones, but yeah,
yeah, me too.
I love it.
And they really loose up energy blocks. And I also call it an angel stone. But it's a very strong healing stone. So very often 11 minutes is enough. So I use it in the end of the healing, and some clients react very positive to crystals. So in the end of the healing, when I use selenite stone, it's like putting on a on switch. The energy just whoosh, and they could really feel it. So I have been doing a little bit of crystal healing lately. Sometimes I had a period of time I really focused on the meridians.
Yeah.
And sometimes I used crystal wands to heal the meridians. And then you can also feel very easily where the energy blocks are when you use these selenite wands. So, and sometimes I have a period when the guides tells me to go very deep, deep trance healing. And then I feel sometimes I don't do so much then, because it's like they take me away. Just I get busy, and it's 1 hour is like 5 minutes, and big things have happened with the clients. So, so it changed. I had a period where I used a pendulum to test the chakras and see, and then I gave healing and then tested again, and you could see a big change in the energy.
Yeah,
So, I like to experiment a lot, and I run a healing school in Norway together with doctors. It's also doctors and nurses that teach in my school. So they learn about the body and illnesses, and I teach them about healing and energy. And also we have acupuncture that teach them about the meridians, because I think healers need to know a little more about the body. And yes, it's been really big results on healing the meridians. So I think if I did the same all the time, I get bored quite easily. So I think the guides,
yeah,
because they want me to be aware all the time. But my favorite, because I need all the proof, is really when it's happening psychic surgery, and when I haven't seen big proofs in 1 week. They really need to give me some time. So that's one of my favorites, and that's my ego, because you don't need to. You can be an amazing, really amazing healer, even if you don't see the spirit, and you don't need psychic surgery healing. But I think they know that with me, they need to give me some action.
it helps. I mean, it's I think you have such enthusiasm for learning. You're like, this is what gives me more ideas, and so the spirit world is teaching you through, showcasing what works and what doesn't work. That's cool. But yeah, I would say this, there's so many clients where maybe they don't have that healing until they go home, and then they might not ever share their benefits. So there's so many instances where you could be doing way more than you even expected.
Yes, yes, and when I was new in this, I've done this for 20 years full time now. But in the beginning, when I saw a client once and I didn't see them again, I thought maybe they were not happy with my session. But sometimes 2 years later, they said, "You fixed my way back." Yes, so I think it's my ego sometimes, my human ego, that needs this proof and feedback, because it's not necessary. After 20 years, I know the healing intelligence know exactly what to do. And if a client come for me with a problem in the knee, and the healing intelligence know that the soul's need healing first. They always work with the soul first. And maybe the client are disappointed because it didn't work with the knee. But maybe the second time they start with the knee. So I can never promise them anything, any results, but I can promise them healing.
Yes, that makes sense. Candy has a question, and she's asking about a certain stone in Norway, a certain gemstone or rock in Norway. I'm not sure what it is. It's called larvakite. She says, do you know about larvakite? I heard it's most powerful, question mark. Have you ever heard of larvakite? I have not heard of larvakite.
No, I'm so sorry. I don't know the Norwegian word for that. But we have a lot of great crystals in the nature in Norway. Amethyst, clear crystal. So we have beautiful crystals, and some places in Norway are very powerful. Many people in Norway go to India because I think the energy there is so strong and they want to open up the gifts, but they really don't need to do that. The mountains in Norway, like Hemsedal or Valdres, is amazing. It's so powerful. So, and we are lucky in Norway. We have so much beautiful nature. And I think not all people like to sit and meditate. And for me, sometimes it's like a meditation to walk in the mountains or in nature, or just being around animals. Sometimes it's maybe it's weird, but sometimes it's like a meditation when you drive a car, because it's when you drive the car, sometimes the guide just pops in with information because you're so relaxed. Maybe not good, but
No, yeah. It's happened to me. Yep. I'm laughing because it's real.
Yeah. And I think I concentrate when I'm driving, but it's like your mind is calmer. Maybe if you drive for a few hours, you are calm, your mind are calmer, so that I can reach you.
Someone, absolutely, yes, absolutely. And so someone's mentioning the stone again, and they say it's called larvikit, and it comes from a city in Norway called Larvik in Vestfold.
Yeah, it's not so far away from me. I need to check that crystal, but I know the place, and I know it's a spa hotel that use some of the crystals in the water. And so it's something with that area. I need to check that out. I've never tried that crystal. So thank you for the information.
There's so many crystals out there, and for every country and region. So it's like there's so much. Casey Cass, thank you though for Candy and Lisa talking about that unique stone. Casey asks, what are huge signs that a person may know that they're a natural healer?
The first thing I want to say, everyone can learn to heal. Everyone can be a channel for the healing intelligence. I think if you are going to work full time as a healer, you need to have a talent. It's like when a football player, they need to have a talent if they are going to work, have it for work. And it's the same with healing. You need to have a talent. And I think it needs to be a part of your pathway, your life, what you call it, contracts. But I have been teaching healing classes since 2005. I never had one student that couldn't do healing. It's really, we have the same chakras, we are connected to the same energy, and everyone can do a beautiful work with healing. But I think it's a part of your plan to do it as a work. You are born with a talent. And I often see that talent in sensitive people. I can see it when they're very young. They have, like I told you earlier about, They feel all the feelings. They maybe have a good intuition. They very often love animals. They are drawn to work like this. I think you would never put yourself in a situation like being in a healing course if you're not drawn to it. And I also seen the people or my students on the healing school. I have had the 4 last year 72 healers on that school, and it's like they are picked from the universe. They really have the talent, but they don't believe in themselves like I like I experienced the first years. And I think it's a good experience because then I understand them and can help them to trust that they are good, more than good enough to be a channel for the healing, the power of healing. So everyone can learn to heal and everyone can help other people with it. But if you're going to be a professional healer, you need to have a talent too. And it's practicing. It's
Yeah.
hard work. It's like your channel just get bigger and bigger, and the power of the healing can work even stronger through you. So
I think, like, you know, that's important to talk about how, you know, if it is of your path, you'll always be drawn to it. And I think that, you know, sometimes talents do develop, but sometimes people surprise themselves and they don't know they have the talent, but they're just
yeah,
drawn, or they'd show up and they're like, wait, what's happening? And
yeah,
yeah, you'll never know how it unfold, but yeah, like I would say listen. I like how Torunn says that too. Listen if someone says you're good, because a lot of times we overthink things.
yes, and I think it's you don't need to join a course, but it's good to have a mentor who can guide you. And the best mentor I have had and still have is Lisa Williams, because she believed in me so much and trust my healing abilities. And that really helped me because I think when you sometimes doubt yourself, it's really good to have a mentor who can guide you. And I do also that with my clients. And I see some of the people who doubt mostly are the most gifted healers.
You know, it's interesting because, you know, when people are connected, when they're a channel, it's almost like they step back, right? So they don't realize they're doing anything.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They're like, what am I doing? And it is a talent to be able to step back. It is a talent to be able to channel like that. So you're exactly right. So a lot of people don't think it's very much, but actually it's very powerful. I love it. So also Chris talks about he's talking about meditation. He's talking about meditation at home is great, but I really love going for a walk in the woods or a bike or even swimming laps to clear your mind. So you mentioned, like, in Norway there's these special sites where the energy is very strong, or how do you feel nature really like heals you or helps you?
I really need to be in nature because in nature the energy is balanced. And I know people sometimes jokes about touch a tree and feel the energy, but it's real. If you pick a tree that seems powerful, looks powerful, and you just touch that, it's amazing energy. But for me, it's just like being in nature. It's like it's clear my system. Uh, I go to nature every day. I ride horses in nature or I walk my dog. And the best thing for me is when I walk alone, because then my guides can reach me and inspire me. So I don't think you need to be in nature like in Norway. I think it's beautiful nature all over the world. But it's really healing. So earlier in life, I worked too much, and then I didn't have time to go into nature. And then I burned the light in each sides and had a long break from work. So I have understood how important it is to take care of yourself first and say no when it's fully booked. And I really I have worked with this for so many years now, and my mission is to teach other healers, to help a lot of people. That's why I started the school, so I want them to have a lot of knowledge, not only about the energy system and healing, but also the body and the mind. Yes, I really want to work even more with teaching and speeches. So I had less clients now because I need to have time to teach other. So if you feel drawn to do healing, just do it. Just take a course or let someone help you with some easy techniques. And healing is easy. It's not complicated. It's just to trust.
It's just a trust.
And put yourself in that position so they can use as a channel. And it's like you said, just put yourself out and let the energy just use your yes.
I was gonna say I agree. It's actually very simple. I think so for Torunn and myself, we have a lot of excitement and fun and curiosity when we learn about the human body, the energy system. It makes us so happy, right? And so when we work with spirit uses our knowledge to help us understand what's going on with the person. So it really if you want to become complicated, it has to be fun, but sure, but the actual healing is very simple, and you just learn more how to make it more and more simple when it's called and needed for. So yeah, absolutely. The last question we'll take is, and Chris really says, yes, he loves biking over a hill and seeing a big open field, and he always feels amazing being outside. So Casey, the last question is, I've been reading a book that says healing is way different. Oh, yes. I've been reading a book that says healing is different than curing. Would you agree? So healing is different than finding a cure.
I'm not sure if I understood the. Could you say it?
Sure. No. It's a very fine line, so that's why it's a little confusing to even consider. So like cure is let's say cure for the measles, you get a shot and you don't have measles anymore, or if you have a cold, vitamin C maybe is a cure. So they're saying in the book, she's like, in the book they're saying that healing work is different than actually curing. Maybe healing might be helping, but it doesn't have a cure. What are your thoughts on that?
I think our own energy system, the body's energy system, work all the time to heal itself. And when the system are a bit low, it's like the battery in the phone. You need to load it. And when you give healing, you load the whole system. And then the body starts to heal itself, not only one spot in the body that needs to be cured, but the whole system works better. Sometimes it's good to do both. Take the C vitamin and the healing.
Right.
I have myself had diabetes type 1 since I was 15 years old. I've been to the best healers in the world. No one had managed to cure that. I think no one with with that type of diabetes has been cured yet. But they have fixed so much other things. The healing have done so much other things. But I think everything can happen with healing, but I have never managed to cure myself for that. But I think one of the reasons I had to go through so much is because they need me to understand my clients. So I have been through quite a lot in my life because they need me to understand each client, what they're going through. But I told them I learned enough now. I don't need to go through anything more. But very many healers have different illnesses, and they help so many healers. But some good healers in Norway, they have been sick many years of their life. And I think it's because we need the knowledge. But other problems in my body, the healing have fixed very easily. So it's we never have any guarantees. And I think it's very important to be open about that. Sometimes it happens miracle, like we see in psychic surgery. And sometimes it doesn't happen what we want to happen. So
Right.
that's out of our control.
So I agree, you know, we can't know what exactly is going to happen because we're not the only one responsible. You know, there's spirit, there's us, and then there's the patient, and sometimes, or the client, you know, that sometimes the client, there's certain conditions that are going on with the mixture of energies where you know, maybe you thought a certain outcome would happen, but it just didn't because there's just a lot at play. So I do think it is a question that really needs a lot of gentle consideration behind it.
But
I
I
do
also
think that,
I also seen that I have been in quite many accidents, car crash, horse falling from horses, and the doctor said that I could never work, but I work more than full time, and when I work with healing, I don't have any pain. I have no problems with my diabetes. I have had it for so many years, and I know that the healing, the intelligence of the healing, keeps me really fit so I can do my work. But I needed the experiences
yeah.
to develop more, because when you go through hard times, it's a lot self-development in that.
What in Casey was talking about kind of the word cure can be really interesting, that one word, but I have seen things within my own life, and I'm sure you have too, just I know you have, just the way that you're sharing with us, Torunn, about how you've seen conditions reverse
Yeah.
and things that have been cured.
And it's also documented from hospitals, so it's really good to have that.
So yeah, I would say healing and curing can you know, in a session you can have healing or you can have curing. It's just you can't um have expectations. You have to see how the energy unfolds.
Yeah,
I would say. I would say.
that's correct.
Yeah, it's up to you, Torunn. Would you like to talk about selenite really quick, and then we'll transition away from questions? Because you held up a selenite wand, and so I was like, oh, someone's asking about it, so it's like it's very relevant. You know,
I just got the new one, and it's the symbols of the chakra. I just like that one very much. But you don't need to have one like this. I think the one you had is perfect. If you use selenite in a healing, if a client have been very depressed, be careful to use it on the head. They can become feel sick and dizzy. So never start with the head, and talk with your clients, and maybe start with a shoulder or a knee or something. But most clients feel, when I use this, they feel a cold energy, and it's going quite deep into the body. So this is really one you can experiment with, and you don't need a big one. You can have a small one. It's not expensive at all. Yeah, and you don't need as big as that. Just I have so many children coming to healing in this room, and I always give them a little selenite stone. And I teach them how to use that. And if I feel tired before work, I always hold it in front of my head and I send healing, and then I can feel the light take away. Yes, and you feel so much lighter in your body, and the mind feels clear. So it's a good crystal to use, but remember, 11 minutes is enough. It's a very strong crystal. So.
With some crystals, if you have them around for a long time, yeah, you can feel off balance sometimes. It just depends on the crystal. I can understand that.
It's possible that they can explode.
So, can? Would you say? Would you say?
Sometimes they can explode.
Whoa! Oh wait, you've had an experience like that?
Yes.
Okay. You're making me super curious. Oh my gosh.
But that was another crystal. But selenite, don't use water on it. It's the only crystal you can't use water on, I think. But it loads other crystals. So if you have selenite, you can put your other crystals around it, and the selenite will load the energy in the other crystals. And if you have teenagers, you can have, I have a little stone, selenite stone with a candle in, and I have it on the dinner table, and they open up very easily. So if you have a teenager that don't speak so much, maybe you should try that, to have one on your dinner table.
Ooh, I like that. That's a great idea. You're making me think about how to put things in my house in a different manner. I like that. Dropping stones in different places. I really like that.
But don't have it under your pillow during the whole night, because it's too strong. And it also open up for other dimensions, angels, light beings, just positive things, but it's strong.
Selenite's a really beautiful stone. It calms, but also you feel very clear. And she was talking about meditation too. So sometimes I just like to hold it and then kind of put it around my body to see where it needs it, and my body starts reacting in a certain way. But Torunn gave so many beautiful suggestions. I love the fact that you have like a candle in your house and it helps with the energies with teenagers and children.
I hope my daughter is not listening at the moment.
Mom is very, very perceptive with all these different healing and loving energies in the home. That's beautiful.
Yes.
So, Torunn, where can people find you if they want to have a session, whether it's distance or in person, or what classes?
It's a bit hard to get a private session because it's so fully booked out this year. But I teach healing courses, and the first course is starting on Sunday. And it's called the Healing Intelligence Part 1. And you can be a beginner, or you can have practicing healing earlier. And I really teach them the way I work with my healing guides and how I attune into them. And yeah, it's a beautiful healing course. Half of the group is Norwegians, and half of them are from US. That's the one in English, and I also have part 2 starting later this year. And we are also 5 teachers from Lisa Williams school that are going to have a lovely event in UK in Mars. I will teach healing. It will be tarot, animal communication, mediumship. It will be really fun. We have hired a hotel with a beautiful park. Everything is on my website, and it's still some available spaces in the course who starts on Sunday. So I hope to see some of you there. Maybe you need to write my website somewhere. Can you do that? It's
Yes.
Torunn Anthonsen Healing, but it's maybe hard to. Yes.
We can put a link down. We can put a
Yes.
link down. Yes, so people can come find it. But yeah, you have a lot of offerings, and that's exciting. That's amazing. I love in March how you're having everyone come together. And I always ask before the show ends to the guests, what is a piece of, whether it's inspirational just in the moment, what is a piece of advice or energy that you want to share with people today?
What makes me most happy is when people see their own abilities. So I think you should all start to talk to your guides. And if you want to do healing, just sit in the power, feel energy under your feet. Imagine the light coming down from the universe and surround your whole body. And then invite your healing guides to come closer to you and notice the difference. And when you start to do that, maybe 10 minutes every day, have an intention that you want to get to know them. So you can start to develop your own abilities. I know that people who are listening right now, I think people are drawn to this today because they have the same abilities. So the best way to develop fast is to sit in the power and invite your healing guides in. It's easy, and they will be there.
With Torunn, got feedback. With Torunn's light-filled words, just feel that, take that in. It's beautiful the way you said that. And I want to say, Torunn, thank you so much for being here today. Please, everybody, go with love, luck, light, and don't forget to live. Thank you again, Torunn.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Kelly. It's been great being here.
Wonderful being here with you.